That 80% off Gurkha deal you found last week, you paid full price. The company inflates MSRPs so high that a $10 cigar carries a $50 sticker, then retailers slash it to look generous. You didn't score a bargain. You got played by math designed to fool beginners. And Gurkha is not alone. Some of the most expensive names in your humidor belong on an avoid list, while $5 and $6 sticks from the same factories making $30 smokes sit ignored on the bottom shelf. 12 cigars. Half will save your wallet. Half are draining it right now. We start with the steals. Number 7, Perdomo Lot 23, a 90-point cigar for $7. That number comes from a blind tasting where price tags were hidden and only the tobacco spoke. Nick Perdomo Sr. and Jr. developed this line in 2000 using tobacco from a single plot in Estelí, what winemakers would call a single vineyard reserve. The leaves age for 5 years before they touch a roller's bench. That aging process usually justifies a $20 price tag. Perdomo charges $7. Cigar Journal named Lot 23 their best value brand of Nicaragua in 2012. The award was not for being cheap. It was for delivering premium quality at a price that made the judges uncomfortable. 90 points, 5-year aging, single estate tobacco, $7. The math does not add up until you realize Perdomo has no interest in gouging you. Number 6, CAO Brazilia. A reviewer at Famous Smoke wrote that this cigar makes an Opus X nervous. Opus X costs $40. Brazilia costs $6. The wrapper is Arapiraca, a Brazilian tobacco so oily and dark it looks like it was dipped in chocolate. Most budget cigars use Nicaraguan or Honduran wrappers because that is what the factories have on hand. CAO went to Brazil for something different. Brazilia has been called the most popular Maduro cigar on the market, not the most popular budget Maduro. The most popular Maduro, period, at $6. When the underdog outsells the premium was never worth the price. Number 5, Drew Estate Factory Smokes. The same hands that roll Liga Privada, the $30 cigar people stand in line for, roll factory smokes at the same benches in the same factory in Estelí, Nicaragua. Gran Fabrica, Drew Estate, the Great Factory, as the workers call it. Same buncheros, same roleros, different price, under $2 per stick. This is not a rumor. Drew Estate says it directly. The company launched factory smokes in 2018, and they made one thing clear from the start. These are not factory seconds. These are not rejects. This is a budget line they designed on purpose, built by the same people who make their premium cigars, using mixed filler, long and short filler tobacco combined in what the industry calls a Cuban sandwich. That construction brings the price down without destroying the experience. The filler leaves in factory smokes come from the same tobacco as Liga Privada, same source plants. Different cuts, different grades, but when Liga Privada trimmings hit the floor, they sweep them into factory smokes. When you light a factory smokes Maduro, you are tasting Drew Estate's ecosystem for under $2. When you light a Liga Privada, you are paying 15 times more for the same company's approach to tobacco. Factory smokes will not deliver the complexity of Liga Privada. It delivers the ecosystem at a price you can afford daily, 15 times less. Same ecosystem. Number 4, my Father Flor de las Antillas. In 2012, the Industry Bible gave the #1 Cigar of the Year award to Flor de las Antillas, 96 points, the highest rating of the year, and every single size in the line costs under $10. The Toro comes in around $6.90. The cigar that beat every $30, $40, $50 cigar that year, the single best cigar on the planet according to the people whose job is to rank them, was a $7 smoke. Jose Pepin Garcia made this cigar, the same Cuban master who rolled for Cohiba, Montecristo, and Partagas before leaving the island in 2002. He has now claimed the top spot twice, Le Bijou 1922 and Flor de las Antillas. Pepin could charge whatever he wanted after that. He kept Flor de las Antillas under $10. The quality has not changed. What changed is your excuse for paying more. Number 3, Drew Estate Undercrown. This cigar exists because the people who make Liga Privada could not afford to smoke it. Drew Estate lets their factory workers smoke any cigar in production. That is the policy. And the rollers loved Liga Privada number 9 so much that it became all they reached for. The problem: Liga Privada was too expensive for daily smoking, even for the people making it. So they did something about it. The rollers, not the executives, not the marketing department, created their own blend. Right at the rolling tables, using similar tobaccos that were more available but still delivered the chocolate, earth, and sweet spice profile they wanted. Drew Estate saw what they had built and decided to sell it. That became came Undercrown. In 2017, Undercrown Maduro scored 91 points and landed at number 25 for the year. The Corona Pequeña size costs around $5.50. This is not a budget line designed by accountants. This is a cigar born from the floor, by people who know what a premium cigar should taste like because they roll them for a living. They built it for themselves. You get to buy it. Number 2, Quorum, the number 1 selling imported handmade bundle cigar in the world. Not in a niche category. Across every market that imports handmade cigars. And it costs between $1 and $2 per stick. Quorum comes from J.C. Newman, the oldest family-owned premium cigar maker in America, founded 1895, 4 generations. Their factory in Estelí is the second largest cigar factory in Nicaragua. 100,000 cigars roll out every day. The same company makes Diamond Crown and Cuesta Rey, premium lines that cost 5, 6, 7 times what Quorum costs. But the 4-step quality control process applies to all of them. The infrastructure is premium. The construction is handmade. The tobacco is Nicaraguan long and short filler combined in the Cuban sandwich style, the same mixed filler technique that lets Drew Estate sell factory smokes at $2. You light one while mowing the lawn. You hand another to your neighbor. He asks what it costs. You tell him. He does not believe you. The world's best-selling handmade import costs less than a cup of gas station coffee. The world buys more of this than anything else. The world is not wrong. Number 1, Southern Draw 300 hands. This cigar costs $5.99. It comes out of the AJ Fernandez factory in Estelí, the same tabacalera AJ Fernandez that produces cigars for dozens of brands charging 3 and 4 times the price. AJ Fernandez is the blender other companies call when they need a reliable anchor cigar. The man is the industry's master of reliability. Southern Draw sends 25% of profits from 300 hands to charitable programs in Nicaraguan communities. The name refers to the 300 steps it takes to produce a single cigar by hand, rolling, bunching, aging, sorting, banding. Every one of those steps happens in a factory built to AJ Fernandez's standards. In 2018, Cigar Dojo named 300 Hands their value-priced cigar of the year. Not a participation award, the actual winner. $6. AJ Fernandez quality. Money going back to the people who made it. $6 makes you a patron, not just a customer. That is the buy list. Now here is what the same shop is hoping you reach for instead, and why the margin on these keeps the lights on. Number 5, Gurkha. Gurkha sets MSRPs so far above market price that retailers can offer 80% off and still pocket normal margin. A cigar listed at $20. MSRP sells for $8 or $10 on any online retailer. That is not a sale. That is the actual price with a fiction sticker attached. Industry observers have documented this for years. The strategy works because new smokers do not know any better. They see 50% off, 70% off, 80% off, and they think they found something. They did not find anything. They got anchored to a number that was never real. And the quality behind the illusion? Enthusiast forums describe construction failure rates north of 50% in some samplers. Plugged draws, canoeing, cracked wrappers, bland profiles. One user on a major cigar forum reported a 70% fail rate from a single batch. Gurkha markets itself as the Rolls-Royce of cigars. The people who actually smoke them, consistently, across multiple lines, describe a mid-tier cigar dressed in luxury clothing. The clothing is what you pay for. The cigar underneath does not justify the theater. I have a Gurkha in my drawer right now from a sampler I bought 3 years ago. It sits there as a reminder. But the MSRP game is not the only illusion. The next trap does not even pretend to be American. Number 4, fake Cuban cigars. The guy on the beach in Havana knows exactly what you want to hear. His cousin works at the factory. The price is half what you would pay at home. The box looks perfect. You just became his mark. 9 out of 10 cigars sold on beaches, by street vendors, or from the guy with a cousin at the factory. Fake. That statistic comes from a cigar shop manager in Montreal quoted in the industry press. Cohiba is the most counterfeited Cuban brand. Cohiba Esplendidos, Monte Cristo No. 2, Romeo y Julieta Churchills, Hoyo de Monterrey Double Coronas. All of them have counterfeit floods so deep that experienced smokers assume street offers are worthless until proven otherwise. 2 tests kill 90% of fakes on site. First, cellophane. Since 1992, Cuban cigars have not shipped in cellophane. If your box has cellophane-wrapped sticks, it is fake. Second, glass tops. No real Cuban cigar comes in a glass-top display box. The style exists purely for counterfeits. 2 more tests for the remaining 10%. Barber poles, a 2-tone wrapper spiraling up the cigar, is a novelty style. No real Cuban uses this construction, and the Habanose seal always sits in the upper right corner of the box. Anywhere else, or a flat-looking hologram, means counterfeit. The most common scam line in Havana: "My cousin works at the factory." That sentence should end the conversation. The cousin does not exist. The cigar does not either. At least the beach vendor knows he is lying. The next problem is an entire country's production. Number 3, Cuban cigars in general. The prices are astronomical. The quality has been sliding for years. And the prestige you are paying for? It belongs to a different era. The industry press documented a 9-year decline in Cuban cigar quality. One specific example: Pollo de Monterrey Double Corona scored 99 points in 1992. The same cigar, same factory, same name, scored 87 in a later test. A 12-point drop on a 100-point scale. Cuba managed only 20 cigars, scoring 90 or above in the 2023 ratings. Nicaragua produced 65. The average price of a Cuban cigar in that rating pool was $54.06. The average Nicaraguan, $14.71. The gap in quality is closing. The gap in price is widening. Industry sources report the island is facing its smallest tobacco harvest in 80 years. State production has been struggling. Aging equipment, rushed fermentation, undertrained rollers. Tight draws, cracking wrappers, uneven burns. Problems that would sink a Nicaraguan brand appear in Cuban production at rates those same observers call unacceptable. You are paying $54 average for a Cuban when Nicaragua delivers $65.90 plus rated cigars at $14 average. The premium goes to the flag on the box, not the leaf inside. And then there is the brand that borrowed Cuba's most famous name without the tobacco to back it up. Number 2, non-Cuban Cohiba, the red dot. There are 2 brands called Cohiba. One is Cuban, produced by Habanos S.A. under Cuban government control. The other is an American brand, owned by General Cigar Company, sold in the United States with a red dot on the band. They are not the same tobacco. They are not the same factories. They are not the same blenders. They share a name, and that name is the problem. General Cigar registered the Cohiba trademark in the United States in 1981, while Cuba was locked out of the American market by embargo. For decades, both brands existed in parallel. Then Cuba sued. In December 2022, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board canceled General Cigar's trademark. In May 2025, General lost the appeal. A federal court ruled the trademark should not exist. The Red Dot Cohiba trades on Cuban prestige without delivering Cuban tobacco. You are paying a premium for a name that a federal court ruled was never rightfully theirs. The trademark should not exist. Neither should your receipt. Number 1, machine-made cigars labeled handmade. The labeling loophole hides in plain sight. A cigar can legally be called handmade if a human attaches the wrapper, even if the binder and filler were bunched by machine. The most labor-intensive work is done by equipment. A person sticks on the outer leaf. The box says handmade. The FTC has never challenged this loophole. This is the trap hiding at gas stations, convenience stores, and airport shops. These sit on the same shelf as premium handmades, in the same packaging style, at the same eye level. Homogenized tobacco leaf, HTL, is the industry term. Scrap tobacco ground into powder, mixed with cellulose adhesive, and pressed into sheets that look like tobacco leaves. They are not. They are processed material, dyed to resemble natural leaf, held together with what is effectively paper and glue. The industry glossary calls HTL scorned by purists. The wrapper sheet can contain preservatives and chemical additives to ensure consistent burn. Premium handmade cigars use natural wrapper leaves handled by human hands. HTL cigars are manufactured throughout by machine. Brands like Black & Mild, Swisher Sweets, White Owl, and Backwoods dominate convenience store shelves. They are machine-made products using HTL, often flavored. They are not cigars in the traditional sense. They are a different product category dressed in the same vocabulary. Mixed filler from a serious factory is a cost-saving technique. Mixed filler from an unknown source is a red flag. If you want a premium cigar, read the description. Long filler, natural wrapper, handmade construction. If the listing does not specify long filler, assume short filler or mixed filler. If the price is under $1 per stick and the brand is available at a gas station, you are probably looking at HTL. The label says handmade. The chemistry says otherwise. That is the avoid list. Now here is the principle that ties it together. The smartest cigar move is not buying everything cheap. It is knowing when cheap delivers and when it does not. Here is how serious smokers actually shop. They they keep two tiers in their humidor: daily drivers and occasion smokes. The daily drivers are the cigars we just covered: factory smokes, Quorum, Undercrown, the ones you can light without doing math in your head. The occasion smokes are the premiums you save for celebrations. But here is the trick: they buy those premiums from the same factories making their dailies. Padron Anniversary comes from the same Padron factory making the 3000 series. My Father Le Bijou comes from the same factory making Flor de las Antillas. Drew Estate Liga Privada comes from the same factory making factory smokes. When you understand factory pedigree, you stop paying for marketing. You start paying for tobacco. The daily driver funds your palate education. The occasion smoke rewards it. Both come from serious infrastructure. You do not need to memorize every brand. You need to understand how the market is built. Factory pedigree beats price tags. Drew Estate's $2 factory smokes comes from the same building as their $30 Liga Privada. Quorum and Diamond Crown come from the same J.C. Newman factory. AJ Fernandez makes budget and ultra-premium cigars using the same staff and the same standards. When you buy cheap cigars from serious factories, you are buying into infrastructure, not settling for leftovers. Verify the origin. If a cigar claims Cuban heritage, know what that actually means. If the brand is American Cohiba with a red dot, you are not getting Cuban tobacco. If the deal comes from a guy on a beach, you are getting counterfeits. If the wrapper feels papery and the price is 50 cents, you are smoking processed scrap held together with glue. Buy what the people who make cigars actually smoke. Undercrown exists because the factory workers wanted something they could afford. 300 Hands exists because a Texas brand wanted to give back to Nicaraguan communities while delivering AJ Fernandez quality. The motivation behind a cigar tells you something about who it was made for. Skip the discount theatrics. If the MSRP is $50 and the sale price is $10, the sale price is probably just the price. Gurkha built a business model on this psychology. Do not let your brain anchor to fiction. Here is the question this video should leave you with. How many cigars in your humidor right now are there because of marketing? And how many are there because someone who knows better actually recommended them? If you work in a cigar shop, a factory, or anywhere in the supply chain, tell me what you see that customers never hear about. What moves off the shelf that nobody talks about? What sits there because the margin is too good for the staff to warn people away? The next video is already in the comments. The brand you want me to investigate. The category you want broken down. The deal that seems too good and probably is. Find it, vote for it, and I will see you there.